Welcome to Tiger Tropics. It's me, Tash. Today, got a new little project to show you guys. How, if you ain't got money, but you love this hobby, and you want to do something that's pretty good, how you can achieve that. And yeah, so I'm going to show you what I've been up to. Follow me. Welcome to my manky bathroom. As you can see, nice and manky, yeah. And I'm here to show you my new project. Ta-da! Right, this is it. This is basically the tank that I found at my local aquarium. It's pretty beaten up. It's got crack on the bottom. It's a bit old. See that movement? Basically needs re-siliconing as well. So what I'm going to do, plus it's got this horrible, what I've kind of realised is paper that's stuck to it, which is so annoying, right? So I'm going to work out how to basically get rid of this without scratching the glass, which probably the glass is pretty scratched up anyway. And we've got this on both sides. So how to remove this, how to basically fix the silicone, how to fix the crack, and fingers crossed it's going to be watertight and all lovely, and put some sand in it and put my little plecos and use it as a grow out tank. Right, so I've got this, right, it's a wallpaper stripper. And as you can see on the end here, you've got this razor blade. Now I was figuring this is going to be a pain in the arse, trying to take all this off. How am I going to take it off? Plus with all the bits that are stuck to the glass as well. So I invested in one of these from Tool Station. Basically it's just got a razor blade on the inside. I bought a pack of razor blades as well. And check it out. As you can see, remove large sections of this in no time and make loads of mess that I've got to clean up later on. My concentration, please. I'll come back when I've finished it. Right, that literally just took me about 5 minutes. All the stuff down there, as you can see, don't film my feet. My feet ain't nice, yeah, feet ain't nice, especially not my feet. But yeah, literally with this, what a wicked little tool. Gonna have to go round the edging a little bit with just a small razor. But yeah, wicked. Let's see if I can just demonstrate exactly how easy it does come off. That's a good demonstration. Trust me, when you start going here, what you need to do is start a little patch, and then don't do that. Yeah, try not to let it bounce either, because that way that's going to be hitting into the glass. But yeah, I'll carry on like this. I'll do the rest of it. And then try basically scraping the inside, making the glass look clean, getting ready for wiping down with methylated spirits. Wicked. Right, so there you go. It took me about 10 minutes, thereabouts. As I've done it, there was bits of silicone that have come off and even a chip on the bottom as well. Should be fine though. because thing is, it's a 4-foot tank, but there's not a lot of water in it. So I'm suspecting what I might do is I might do a clean up first, and then silicone the bits I know that definitely need to be siliconed. Once I do them, run a water test, and if there's any other leaks anywhere else, and then I'll patch it up. So basically the next step now is to clean it down with methylated spirits, and we'll see how it looks then. Cheers. Okay, so gave it a little bit of a clean up. Now I'm water testing it. More shots from my manky bathroom. So what I've done is just put a couple of bits of wood across the bath itself. I suspect I know where it's going to leak from. One's going to be from one of the ends, but I was waiting for a leak actually from the base. But what I'll do is, do you know what? When I do this, I fill it up with lukewarm water, just so basically so it can react with the silicone. When everything sort of softens up and then kind of force a leak. And yeah, and fill it up, see what happens. If I find a leak, what I'm going to do is I'll mark it, and then I know where to reseal. Okay, as you can see, there's a leak. And I kind of suspected that it would be because there was too much movement across the top. But where I'm happy that there isn't a leak is across the bottom. Even though there's a crack on the bottom over there and a chip on that side over there, which are fine. They seem to be okay. So my next port of call is basically empty this, reseal these two seals, clean up where the silicone is, and reseal it. So, and then once it's set, retest it. Right, so there's a couple of sections where there's cracks, and I just want to make sure that them sections are reinforced. Now, I don't have a glass cutter. I've got a piece of glass, but I've got no glass cutter. So I went on YouTube, as you do, looked for ways of cutting glass without a glass cutter. I'll give props to a guy called Incorrigible Aaron, check his channel out, who came up with this idea. Glass container with water. Put the glass on top like this. Alcohol. So basically what you do is you put your paper in alcohol and you place it where you want to cut the glass. You then light it. Just let it burn. And then in theory, what should happen is you put it in the water. Ta-da! And it breaks. It's not exactly where I've done it here. But, boom. Right, okay, so what I've done now, if you have a look here, this is where the leak was. Look at that. Yeah. Also, if you look on the inside here, there's a crack. So what we're going to do is this piece of glass here, which I've cleaned over and over, I'm going to place along here like this and silicone it in, as well as silicone this edge here. Just make sure when you do any type of silicone there's no dust and you've managed to get all the silicone off, because silicone doesn't bond to silicone. So what tends to happen is if you don't clean it properly, it'll get bubbles, and then the water will pass through them bubbles. So the whole thing is basically make sure everything's clean. Right, so when you're doing siliconing, remember 2 mil equates to 24-hour curing. So when you do it, you don't really need to go over the top. Just make sure that it was, you know, that it goes all the way around, and that should be fine. Even that's a lot, to be honest. put that in now. Squash it down. And what we're going to do, just put a little bead around it to ensure that there's no leaks afterwards. Okay. Okay. So now around like that. Now make sure this gets right inside the sill, inside the joint, sorry. So when it hardens, you'll create a good sill. There's quite a gap here. Okay, so that's a nice thick bead. Hopefully that's going to dry up and not cause us any problems. So just go over it with your finger, like that. And I'm hoping that's going to be enough to hold. Okay, second water test now. So far so good. I'd like to put some hot water in there. Not hot. I mean, I'll start off with lukewarm up to around about here. Maybe here. Then I'll put hot water in there because obviously when the heater and all that's on, the water's going to be kind of warm. And I want to test the silicone and all that. So yeah. So far, so good. I'll leave that like that, good part of 2 hours just to make sure, and then, yeah, good to go. Okay, so, tank's done. I don't know, suspect there might be a little leak. I can't be 100% sure, so I've stuck the end that I think might be leaking on that end, so I can keep an eye on it. Fingers crossed it ain't. So this is a simple build this, because all I'm going to do now is put play sand in it. Now if you go B&Q for £6, get a big bag like that. Wicks I think is roughly about the same price as well. And if you go Argos, I think for £4 you get something similarly sized. Now the reason why I like play sand is because it's got nothing to it. It's sterile, you know, obviously because it's designed for kids play areas. There's no dust. You just lay it in a tank, put water in it, and you're good to go. But it is full of silicates. Now why is that important? It's important because something I discovered when I first started using it is you get bacteria called diatoms. Now diatoms basically feed on silicates, and what happens is you end up with this horrible brown stuff that starts emerging everywhere, and it looks very ugly, and it does burn itself out because it eats all the silicates eventually, and then the sand's good to go. But you do go through a period of time where, yeah, things don't look great. So far so good with my 260, but obviously you can't rule it out. It's happened to me. I had it in a fully planted tank and no good. So the idea is now, lay some sand in here, and then I'll try to exchange everything from the bucket here into here. Well, that's the plan. Come on then, I might as well just go ahead and do it. Try to turn the camera off. Right, let's lay this shit. Now, as you can see, get quite a lot of it as well. Whoop. Maybe a little bit too much in that. Let's have a look. I like quite a thick sand bed because what happens is bacteria forms within the sand bed, and thick, I think it's about 2 inches. Makes the bottom look a little bit more interesting as well. But about 2 inches gives you a good level of bacteria. So because look, when you set up your filtration, like your biomedia inside your filtration is where you harbour the nitrifying bacteria. Fair enough, we all kind of know that. But something that a lot of people don't take into consideration, a friend of mine pointed out today with his marine setup, makes perfect sense, that you've got to imagine that the stuff inside your tank also does that. Now, a lot of people think that the water contains bacteria, which it really doesn't. It's the bits and pieces within the tank that does. They harbour all the bacteria and stuff, and obviously your filtration with your sponges and all the rest of it does also. So that's all part of your cycle there. So yeah. So like I said, nice thick sand. Plus it looks pretty good as well. Now, should I use the fluval? Problem with the fluval, I have points of low flow where it doesn't want to work, but it is a 300 watt heater. It does cope. But saying that, I think the Eheim's a bit more reliable, so we've got more water to heat up this time, not just the taupe. I think I'll caution to the wind, and I'll use the fluval. So I'll place that in here, and I'll lay it like this because it seems to like that better. Okay, so the next stage was sorting out some sort of outlet and inlet. I didn't have a proper outlet, it was too long, and the inlet was an old outlet pipe which seemed to work perfectly for size. So yeah, banging. Put a filter underneath, and now it's transferring water over from here, and somehow get the plecos over here. Okay, looks a little bit murky. Got to get some lighting for it now. Once we get the lighting, it's going to look a lot better. So I'm currently using the Eheim Echo Pro, I think it's the 200 or the 300, and I've got a little hang on the back filter as well running in. And this is all temporary while the plecos grow. I think at a later stage I'll do something else with this tank. Might introduce more fish, but let me get some lighting on it and really illuminate the situation. Alright guys, so got the lighting for it, set it all up properly. Let's have a look, see how it turned out. Alright guys, so that was the build. Total cost of the build, well for me this time was just £10. Sorry, no, tell a lie, it was £30. It was £20 for the light and £10 for the tank. The filtration I already had. Sorry, £4 for the bag of sand as well, £34 it cost me. It's not too bad. The sealant I already had, filtration I already had. I mean, like the hang-on back filter, I didn't pay no money for because it didn't have the mounting bracket, so I had to make a mounting bracket for it. But yeah, I'd say best thing to do is befriend your local aquarium, support them, because that support basically comes back to you from them. They appreciate it. They'll support you when you need stuff as well. So yeah, I mean, they've helped me out massively, and I'll say special thanks to my local aquarium. I don't know whether he wants a shout out or not, but yeah, please like, subscribe and share. Trying to hit the 1,000 subscriber mark. Once I hit that, and then I'll basically set up a Patreon account. I'll have someone who actually knows how to edit better camera quality, so on and so forth. And then basically put that money straight back into the channel and hopefully help me make it grow. So yeah, thank you very much. Hope you enjoyed the content and see you next time.